You have probably seen many professional players feud over little stuff. But if we talk about these icy moments between Mark Williams and Darren Morgan, you might just need a winter coat. This whole feud came into the spotlight recently when Mark Williams won the opening match at the Welsh Open this year. The former world champion was interviewed in the BBC Wales studio. And guess who was sitting right beside him? None other than Darren Morgan. Fans are already side-eyeing the BBC, thinking they just wanted to stir the pot. And Morgan seemed to catch on as he tried to break the ice. He casually asked Williams how he's enjoying his games these days, especially with his 50th birthday around the corner. But the response was colder than a freezer aisle. Williams didn't even glance Morgan's way and hit him with a blunt no comment before crossing his arms. The studio definitely needed some heating after that one.
Elephant in the room, Mark, and this disagreement between you and Darren here over the last few weeks about the whole wildcard issue, because you've been fighting Jackson Page's corner, the teenager who originally wasn't going to be here as a wildcard. Darren got a wildcard instead. Strong words from Darren yesterday, accused you of cyberbullying and being a keyboard warrior, bit of a joke as well. How do you respond to what Darren said?
It's probably best for me not to make any comment. You've said what you've said, and you know everyone can read it. And I'd just rather talk about the match today and how well I played and how well I've been playing all season, to be honest.
Do you not think that you've been at all disrespectful to Darren, though, in what you said on social media?
Like I said, there's no point me making any further comments. He said what he said, and that's just it. There's nothing you can do about it.
What would your argument be, though, in terms of the whole wildcard system? Because clearly you feel that Jackson Page, as a youngster, should have been here in the first place. He was here in the end, as it turned out, and we saw him through to round two. But you felt he should have got in there straight away. There shouldn't have been an issue.
He got in as a top-up, you know, because Joe Swale had to pull out for personal reasons, I think. So, you know, he's got in, and, you know, it is what it is.
But to be fair to Darren, Darren has beaten Jackson Page 5 times this season. He beat Jackson Page in the tournament to determine who qualified for the Welsh Open. So the rules were there. We knew.
At this point, you're probably wondering, what exactly went down behind the scenes to make things this frosty? Well, it's a story that goes way back. Though it's unclear how many fans actually caught wind of this drama, one thing is certain: both players own clubs that compete in the same leagues. These clubs are known as the training grounds for young snooker prospects. But here's the spicy part. A couple of seasons ago, a good chunk of the youngsters who used to play at Darren's club mysteriously switched over to Williams. But nobody knows the exact reason behind it. Maybe it was Williams's influence, maybe it was just better snacks at his club. Who knows? Locals say Morgan gets a fair bit of stick, for whatever reason, but he's known for being super friendly. He even lets young players use his tables for free, just as long as they brush them. As for Williams, no one's really heard anything bad about him or his club, except for the fact that the table fees could probably make your wallet cry. And then, after 7 years, this whole thing decided to come back from the dead at the 2018 Welsh Open, turning into an explosive social media spat. Back in January 2018, Morgan won the Robert Harry Memorial Tournament and landed himself a wildcard spot for pre-qualification. But Williams was not having any of it. Instead of giving a simple congratulations, he decided to promote the other guy. He argued that Jackson Page deserved the wildcard instead, saying Morgan was too old and experienced for it. But what he did next disappointed fans. Williams took things to Twitter and casually dropped this little comment. Morgan versus Richards in the Welsh, that should bring the crowds in. And just like that, Morgan's patience went poof. He felt like Williams was just flexing his influence to push him out and make way for Page. Furious, he fired back, calling Williams a total joke and accusing him of playing politics with his career. Then, just to make things even more spicier, he reminded everyone that he earned his spot fair and square, even ranking #1 in the Welsh men's category. Fans thought Morgan should have stopped there. But nope, he went for the final blow. In an interview, he said that Williams treated him like a big kid bullying him on the playground. And if that wasn't enough, he slapped him with the ultimate internet insult, the keyboard warrior label. He even admitted that he and his entire squad had blocked Williams on social media. But the next day, Williams got the shock of his life when he read the headlines. He thought he was just having a bit of fun, throwing some harmless banter at Morgan. But surprise, he was now officially labelled the cyberbully of the snooker world. Not exactly the legacy he was aiming for. When Eurosport handed him the mic, Williams tried to clear the air. It was obvious he was uncomfortable, but he still managed to explain that backing up Page wasn't personal. He was just being friendly and supporting fresh talent. And then things got even messier. Page eventually made it into the tournament, and Williams saw an opportunity to turn up the heat. Morgan had to face Page in a crucial match at the Rhymney Valley Snooker League Finals. And guess what? The match was set to take place at a club owned by none other than Mark Williams himself. And the prize was a golden ticket to the Welsh Open. Morgan wasn't having any of it. He complained that he wasn't going to play at the same table where his opponent had been practicing for ages. He was convinced this was all part of Williams's master plan to take him down. The league, of course, denied it. He requested the league to switch tables, but when they denied his request, he pulled a power move, straight up refused to play. And just like that, the league banned him for an entire year. It didn't take long for the tea to spill all over social media. Morgan's daughter decided to step in like a PR manager on a mission and tweeted about the whole mess. But Williams wasn't about to sit this one out. He clapped back with a savage tweet, roasting Morgan by saying he had been impersonating a snooker player for 30 years. At this point, fans were either sighing in disappointment or fully invested in the drama. Some thought Williams had gone too far with his comments, calling it unprofessional, while others were all for it. But one thing was clear. This was no longer just about snooker. Meanwhile, Williams was watching all this unfold, probably with a raised eyebrow and a cup of tea. From his perspective, Morgan's refusal to play on Page's regular table was just a bad look, especially considering Morgan had a 40-year age gap over his opponent. But if you think the drama ended there, you are wrong. The tension hit new heights when these two, now more like sworn enemies, ended up in an awkward interview at the BBC Wales studio later that year.
And Mark Williams, all 42. There he is. Congratulations, sir.
Right.
Take a seat. How do you feel then?
Oh,
got
good.
A smile on your face. Are you relieved? Tough match?
Yeah, I played well. You know, the first frame was a bit scrappy. He could have won it, and you know, I could have won the fourth frame. But overall, I played, you know, quite well really. Made a couple of centuries. He made a century, and a good one-frame visit in the last.
He did threaten to come back and overhaul you, didn't he? You think
Yeah,
that he might do that when he pulled about the 3-2?
Once you lose a close one, like you look like you could win 4-1 and it's 3-2, he's only got to get in, make a break, and then it's 3-all all of a sudden. If it was 3-all, I haven't done nothing wrong really. But I played quite well, yeah.
Oh, we were talking about your form generally this season. It's been fantastic. You know, you've avoided going out in the first round here as you did last year. That's always an important one, isn't it, to get over that first hurdle, just to make sure that you don't suffer that kind of experience again?
Yeah, I've had an unbelievable consistent season really. I've got to the last 16 quarters of near enough everything. Won a couple of ranking tournaments, won the 6 Reds, and you know, just playing miles better than I've done for years. You know, enjoying it. Obviously, when you win, you do enjoy it, but once you lose, is you know, guess the same old thing. But you know, I've turned a new leaf this season and playing some good stuff.
And a third ranking title. I'm sure you'll be pleased to get your hands on this one again for the first time in nearly 20 years. We've got to address the elephant in the room, Mark, and this disagreement between you and Darren here over the last few weeks about the whole wildcard issue, because you've been fighting Jackson Page's corner, the teenager who originally wasn't going to be here as a wildcard. Darren got a wildcard instead. Strong words from Darren yesterday, accused you of cyberbullying and being a keyboard warrior, bit of a joke as well. How do you respond to what Darren said?
It's probably best for me not to make any comment. You've said what you've said, and you know everyone can read it. And I'd just rather talk about the match today and how well I played and how well I've been playing all season, to be honest.
Do you not think that you've been at all disrespectful to Darren, though, in what you said on social media?
Like I said, there's no point me making any further comments. He said what he said, and that's just it. There's nothing you can do about it.
What would your argument be, though, in terms of the whole wildcard system? Because clearly you feel that Jackson Page, as a youngster, should have been here in the first place. He was here in the end, as it turned out, and we saw him through to round 2. But you felt he should have got in there straight away. There shouldn't have been an issue.
He got in as a top-up, you know, because Joe Swale had to pull out for personal reasons, I think. So, you know, he's got in, and, you know, it is what it is.
But to be fair to Darren, Darren has beaten Jackson Page 5 times this season. He beat Jackson Page in the tournament to determine who qualified for the Welsh Open. So the rules were there. We knew, you know, what they had to do from the outset. See what I mean?
Yeah. So you going to ask me any questions about the match today, or the tournament, or the next match?
I'll tell you what I have got for you.
Go on.
Very quickly, because we're going to talk about Michael White in a moment, another Welshman. I've got a poem for you. I can read this out. I don't know if you're aware of George Stanworth, but he sent me this poem on Twitter very quickly. I'll read this out. Mark's the Welsh wonder, a potting machine. He's the greatest left-hander that there's ever been. He continues to win. He's on top of his game, has 20 world ranking events to his name. He's a coach now in sight right and deems it a dream. He's a double world champ who's still big on the scene. Mark's the Welsh wonder, a potting machine. He's the greatest left-hander that there's ever been.
That's nice of him. I'm not sure if that's all true, but I'll take what he's written there. Yeah, it's quite nice.
So a complimentary end to our chat.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Mark. George Stanworth, thank you for you.
Though Williams was so over the drama and just wanted to talk about his match, the presenter, being the brave soul he was, decided to break the ice. He casually threw in some questions about their snooker careers, probably hoping for a civil conversation. Williams isn't planning on melting down anytime soon. The man holds onto grudges like a trophy. He even made it official in a press interview, saying he was already pretty much done with the whole mess. And just to make sure everyone really got the memo, he announced that he's never talking to Morgan again. Like, ever. But sometimes you just gotta let things go and move on, right? Even Morgan eventually caught on to this wisdom. He admitted that, in hindsight, he wished he could turn back time and handle things differently, maybe with slightly less chaos. That said, he also made it clear he's not regretting a thing, even if that means this snooker Cold War drags on forever. And that's how this turned into one of the longest, pettiest feuds in snooker history. But what do you think? Are they both being dramatic, or is there actually any hope for peace? That's a wrap on this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and for more snooker content, click on the screen right now.